On October 13, 2023, SpaceX achieved an extraordinary milestone in space exploration, demonstrating that one of the boldest maneuvers ever announced is now possible: in-flight booster capture during the fifth Starship flight. This historic event saw the return of two vehicles, both executed with impressive precision. Ship 30 made a controlled landing in the Indian Ocean, while the most spectacular re-entry was that of Booster 12, which defied gravity between the robust arms of Mechzilla. Although the first in-flight capture attempt was labeled a success, the data collected indicated that SpaceX was just a step away from failure. This was revealed in an internal discussion shared by Elon Musk on the X platform, highlighting the tension and attention to detail that defines every launch. At the Starbase launch site, the first prototype of the new generation of Starship, Ship 33, also arrived. This second-generation model, known as V2 or Block 2, introduces numerous technical and structural improvements. However, it is important to note that this is not yet the final version of Starship. In this new episode, we will present the latest news and significant updates regarding this innovative project, the largest and most powerful rocket ever built by humanity. Remember to subscribe to the channel to stay updated on the latest episodes and discoveries. Let's begin our story with the fifth launch. During the live broadcast, some small issues and setbacks emerged, such as the detachment of a part of an aero cover and flames generated at the base of the booster. One person following the operation stated, "We were 1 second away from failure." This comment was shared with Musk, who responded via a post on X, emphasizing that 1 second equals 50 computer control cycles, trying to reassure the public about the responsiveness of the automated systems involved. During the conference, a configuration issue was also reported, preventing the expected increase in thrust from the Raptor engines. It was not specified at which stage of the flight this issue occurred, but the data obtained from the launch was valuable and will allow SpaceX to implement improvements in the upcoming prototypes, starting with launch number 6. The work carried out by workers to improve the ground infrastructure has yielded significant results, highlighting the progress toward the rapid reusability of the launch pad. In fact, just 12 days after the fifth launch, on October 25th, SpaceX conducted a static fire test with Booster 13. This is a clear sign that the necessary maintenance work was minimal, allowing for quick repetition of tests with the Raptor engines of the new prototype. After the static fire test, Booster 13 was removed from the pad, but not before Mechzilla lifted it to the top of the tower for further tests in preparation for the in-flight capture. The sixth Starship launch could happen very soon, as SpaceX has already obtained the necessary permits from the FAA, paving the way for further experiments and innovations. For the first time on October 26th, we were able to observe in detail the first next-generation Starship, known as V2 or Block 2. This Starship, identified as Ship 33, was brought to the test site for pressurization trials. Between October 28th and 31st, several tests were carried out, particularly liquid nitrogen pressurization tests. These tests allowed SpaceX to verify the integrity of the new tank structure, which is now larger than the previous version. However, the increase in tank size resulted in reduced space for the payload. Ship 33 gained 340 more fuel volume, bringing the total capacity to 1,500 tons. This greater fuel capacity was achieved by adding a structural ring, making this Starship the tallest ever built, with a height of about 52.1 meters. However, it is important to note that this new version may not be intended for transporting large payload volumes, as space for the payload was sacrificed to increase tank capacity. Additionally, SpaceX already plans another version, Block 3, which should reach a height of about 70 meters, promising further improvements and optimizations. Among the main modifications to Ship 33 is the reduction of the upper wings, now smaller and shifted toward the rear, in an area unprotected by the heat shield. This design change is meant to protect the wing hinges from the plasma generated during re-entry, solving issues encountered in previous flights. Another important modification concerns the downcomers, the structures that transport methane from the tank to the engines. Now there is a single pipe for the 3 central Raptors and 3 independent downcomers for the vacuum-optimized engines, improving the system's efficiency. In recent days, details have emerged regarding the astronaut cabin of the lunar Starship, located at Starbase. SpaceX is developing a lunar lander based on Starship for NASA's Artemis program. To this end, they are designing a cabin capable of hosting 4 astronauts who will participate in Artemis 3 and Artemis 4 missions. The mock-up at Starbase is organized over 2 levels. The lower level houses all the life support devices, tanks, and supplies, while the upper level is dedicated to the astronauts. Thanks to renders created by user MCRS987 on X, based on information from journalist Tom Bickmore, who visited the facility, we have an idea of how the cabin will be arranged. Inside, there are 4 boxes that will serve as sleeping quarters for the astronauts, which were also visible during previous events at Starbase and in interviews with Musk. Furthermore, space is designed to accommodate up to 20 of these boxes along the inner wall of the Starship, in an optimal configuration to minimize ground space. An additional area will be dedicated to controlling the Starship's functions, with a cockpit featuring 4 seats and touchscreen monitors, similar to those in the Dragon capsule. This structure at Starbase is likely to serve as a base and starting point for further developments, as NASA astronauts regularly visit Texas for meetings with SpaceX to discuss critical elements of the lander and the internal organization of the lunar Starship. It is interesting to note that, as shown in the renders, SpaceX has not fully utilized all the available space. For example, the upper part of the cabin currently remains empty, with about 12 meters of space from the floor of the upper level to the top of the Starship. While further specific details are lacking, it is clear that SpaceX is investing significant resources into developing the lunar version of the Starship. After performing a static fire with Booster 13, SpaceX did not release any statements, which is quite unusual. A problem may have emerged, prompting the need to repeat the engine ignition test in preparation for the 6th Starship launch. On October 22nd, a ship recovered the Booster 12 ring from the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico, which had been used for the hot staging maneuver. The separation occurred about 3 minutes and 40 seconds after launch, and the ring began falling from over 70 kilometers in height, suffering significant damage upon impact with the sea. However, this is not a major issue, as future versions of the Super Heavy will not be equipped with this removable ring. At Starbase, construction of a new launch ramp has begun, designed with a square layout compared to the previous circular design, based on data collected from the first 5 test launches. During an interview with the Deputy Director of NASA's Human Landing System program, some plans for SpaceX in 2025 were revealed. The main objective for next year is to successfully complete propellant transfer between 2 starships in orbit, a task scheduled for the summer of 2025. This maneuver is crucial for both the HLS program and the entire Starship project development, as only through in-orbit refueling can Starship reach the Moon and Mars. Thank you for following this new episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave us a like, and let us know in the comments when you think the 6th Starship flight will take place.